What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to discuss my journey as a runner and all the lessons I've learned along the way. Let's go. For me, running started about 2 years ago, right in the middle of the pandemic. Honestly, I have never really enjoyed endurance or long distance running. I always talk about this story when I was in high school and I ran track. My coach made me run a 400 meter and I lied to you guys not. I stopped after 300 meters and I walked the finish. That day, I quit on myself. I didn't give myself a fighting chance to actually accomplish that 400 meter race. And I think that's really what happened for me, even in this marathon journey or my running journey in general. I never thought that I would be out here running marathons, running ultras, and like doing it for fun. It's amazing to see what happens when you start to open up your mindset and be curious about what the human body and mind can actually do. And that's kind of where my journey started. Over COVID, I started to educate myself through different influencers, runners, entrepreneurs, people that were getting into the running space, but also just had tremendous stories about how they began their journey. The first book that really jump-started this mindset for me was David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. And if you don't know who David Goggins is, please pause this video right now and go YouTube David Goggins, and I guarantee you that you will be really motivated to go put on some running shoes and to go get after it. But long story short, he's a former Navy SEAL and now he is an ultra runner, and he wrote the book Can't Hurt Me, where it talks about a lot of his experiences and how he was able to overcome his insecurities, his own inner doubt, to then become who he is today. As I read this book, the first challenge I wanted to do was a marathon, 26.2 miles. So there was one day in the summertime of 2021, I had a new pair of Nike Pegasus Turbos, and I wanted to see how far I could run with no nutrition, with no hydration, just off straight discipline and will. 18 miles later, with full body cramps in my quads and hamstrings, I was at a very low point, and a point where I could not continue to move my body and run. I legitimately had to call a friend to pick me up at mile 18, and this was a fully self-supported race. It was just me choosing one summer day to go see how far I could run, and I quickly realized how much information and how much knowledge I did not have about this sport. Now, as time went by, I started to do more research, I read more books, and followed a lot of professional and elite runners and coaches to just educate myself on how to become a better runner and how to run your first marathon. I realized that there was a lot of nutrition and hydration that my body did not have to support myself to actually go run 26 miles. 1% of the world completes a marathon, and I try to do it with zero hydration and zero nutrition. And even though I was super audacious to have that ambition to do that, I learned so much by pushing my body and pushing my mind to that limit. I realized that we have so much more in the tank than we think. Me even internalizing 18 miles with almost nothing, it gave me so much confidence that I could do a marathon if I actually fueled myself properly, if I trained properly, and I built out the proper foundation. Finally, I ran my first marathon on my 26th birthday in 2021, and I ran it in 3 hours and 55 minutes. And it's less about the time that I finished it in, but I was so grateful and just appreciative of being able to conquer that challenge. I think so many times in life, humans don't put challenges in front of us because we're so scared to fail. But in reality, we fail every single day in our lives. Whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your job, or whether it's in the gym. The goal is to create more failure so that we can build a better relationship for it. And there's this powerful Denzel Washington quote where he said, if you're not failing, you're not even trying. You're not even allowing yourself to fail. You're not even putting yourself out there to get out of that comfort zone, to feel that discomfort. So my challenge for anyone watching this video, ask yourself, what are you doing right now in your life to put challenges in front of you, to create some level of discomfort? It may not be to go run a full marathon, but even the smallest habits and routines that you can implement into your day-to-day life can have compound interest. Whether it's reading 1 page a day of a book, whether it's taking a 10-second cold shower, whatever it might be, start to find small routines and habits to implement into your day-to-day routine and just watch what that compound interest does. For me, it started with that first marathon. Not having all the knowledge or the education on how to actually do this, but I just had that I wanted to run into the unknown. I wanted to run into not having all the answers. So many of us want to sit here and overanalyze and have that paralysis analysis of jotting down every detail and trying to figure out every single thing before you go attempt a challenge or a goal. And for me, I just love entering into things that I don't have the answers to, because along that way, you're gonna figure it out. The next challenge I did was the David Goggins 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, also known as the 4x4x48. And this is entering more into that ultra marathon space where you're running 48 miles in 48 hours. It's totally different than just running a marathon. Both of them are challenges in their own right, but when you're doing this Goggins challenge, a lot of it has to do with discipline and consistency and grit and will, because when you have to wake up at 3:50 in the morning to go run at 4 a.m., there's nothing enjoyable about that. You're fully sleep deprived, you're having very little rest, and you're accumulating a ton of volume base building miles. And there's nothing really like fun about that challenge, but it's just like anything in life. The things that are not that fun, the things that don't taste good, the things that hurt are sometimes the things that make us grow, and it helps us mature or create more discipline or create growth for ourselves. And that's what I was looking for when I entered into that challenge. This was the first time I ever ran 48 miles in 48 hours. I didn't know what to expect, but as I continued to go on these 4-mile runs, I realized that there was so much more that the human body, mind, and spirit can actually offer. The biggest thing running has taught me is to be more patient. So many of us want that quick fix. We want the 30-day ab program, 60 days to grow your social media, right? Everyone wants instant gratification. And for me, running has really taught me to stay patient. Like, it's super easy to like say that you want to run a sub 3-hour marathon without really knowing what that work entails. The same thing goes when it comes to building a bigger chest or building out your social media. Like, everyone wants to find out the quick fix. When you start to realize that in life, nothing worth having comes easy, you'll get really patient with making sure that you're building out the right foundation, building out the right habits and routines to then stack up those wins. And then brick by brick, if you continue to do and implement the right habits, you will start to see the results that you want in business, in your life, relationships, whatever it might be. Running has taught me the power of being limitless. So many humans sell themselves short. They tell themselves before they even attempt it why they can't do something, why they can't achieve something, why they can't leave that relationship, why they can't leave that job, whatever it might be. There's so much more that we can do with this body. We have one life on this earth. My only goal is to make sure that I maximize every single ounce of it. The funny thing is, I felt the same exact way. I had so many limitations I had in my own internal mind. Even if you bring it back to that kid that ran that 400 meter, I never thought that I would get this deep into running and running ultras or even creating content. When you put yourself out there to get criticized, to also get love and to get admiration, you're vulnerable. But if you are clear with what you're able to achieve and what you're able to do, it gets very easy to not listen to the external voices. And I think that's the biggest thing for all of this. How do you start to unlearn the limitations that you have with yourself? Is you might need to change what you're listening to. And that's the biggest piece of advice I tell anyone is, if you feel like you're negative, if you feel like you don't see the world as an optimist, as a positive person, right? Change what you're listening to, because all that is feedback that you've been inputting into your mind. Whether it's coming from society, whether it's coming from social media or mainstream media, or maybe your parents, whoever put that in there, it's not actually what you believe in. So if you feel like you have something to say, if you feel like you want to make impact on this world, stop putting limits on yourself and go do it. Through all the running I've done, whether it's been marathons, challenges, ultra races, anywhere from 50 to 100 miles, I've learned so many things through this process, through this journey of self-growth, of running, through solitude, through meditation. And there's 4 things I really want to leave with you guys that I hope you guys can actually manifest and turn into reality for yourselves. The first one is build a better relationship with patience. Find something in your life, whether it's running, whether it's journaling or meditation. It could be so many different things. Find something that will help develop a better relationship with patience. Number 2, build a better relationship with failure. So many of us are scared to fail and the judgment that we get if we fail. If you realize that failure is the only constant in our lives to seek growth, you'll quickly realize that the failures and the micro L's that you take are actually micro wins in reality. So many of us fail every single day. Does that stop us from still living? So stop trying to avoid failure in other aspects of your life. Number 3, find a positive community or support system, and if you don't have it near you, go seek it through outside podcasts, through different meetup groups, through books, through other entrepreneurs or people that you look up to. If the people around you that you're hanging with are giving you negative feedback, they're not lifting you up, or they're not having good energy when they enter the room, I want you to audit the people that you hang around with. Just like an accountant will do with your taxes, literally write down the 10 people that you hang out with the most and literally put a plus or a minus on how they make you feel as a human. Start there, and if you feel like there's a lot of negatives, slowly start to spend less time with them. You don't have to cut them off completely, but just spend a little less time with them and start to consume more positive voices, whether it's from YouTube, books, audiobooks, whatever it is, and just watch what happens. Number 4, and this kind of spirals all of these together, invest in yourself. This is by far the human body. We get one shot at this life. Invest into you, whether it is a physical thing, whether it's a mental thing, whether it's an intellectual thing, learning new skill sets, learning new habits, learning new tasks, or whatever it might be. Start to learn and invest into yourself. Part of that is gonna come with being better with failure. You're not gonna try new things if you're scared of failing. So if you build a better relationship with failure, it's gonna automatically manifest into you investing into yourself just by you getting out of that comfort zone. With all that being said, I wanna share all my knowledge and experiences with all of you. Everything from mindset, running, strength and conditioning, nutrition, and recovery. There's so much knowledge I've been able to gain that I wanna share with all of you. I have a special hybrid program that's getting launched on October 24th. It's called the Limitless Mindset Marathon Program, where we're gonna discuss mindset, running, nutrition, and give all of you the tools that you need to go crush your next half or full marathon or PR in your next race. Click the link in my description for all the information. I would love for all of you to be a part of this community. I can't wait to see you there. That's it for the video. I appreciate all of you tuning in to hear my story of how I got into running and all the lessons I've been able to learn. If you haven't done so already, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the damn channel and hit the damn bell icon so you guys can get notified when I push out a video just like this. Also, if you guys want me to make a video that maybe is your idea, drop in the comments what video you guys want to see next. Until next time, deuces. We're out. Peace!